To start with your, the fingering here is pretty important. You're going to start on the 5th string, 8th fret, and you're going to use your second finger on that. The dots will help you here, Andrew. You have a dot on the 7th fret, so, and a dot on the 9th fret, so yes, very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick that guy, and then we're going to hammer our 3rd finger onto the, good. Then we're going to put our first finger, this is why we use the 2nd finger on this note. Our first finger is going to go on the 7th fret. Right. And then you're immediately going to, and then the last bit is a pull off from, so you have to move that first finger. That's a little tricky because you have to move the first finger back to the 4th string. The 4th string. Right. Right, so here you're pulling off from the 9th fret to the 7th fret. So that 7th fret note has to be down before you start. Right, so that's going to be the trickiest part of this. And I want you to notice how I did that, because there's a little, this is a little advanced, but you're doing so well that I don't see any reason for you not to do this, okay? Because this will make this lick much easier. There's a technique that we use, which is sometimes called a rollback. And that you use the rollback when you're going back and forth between two notes on the same fret on adjacent strings, on strings that are right next to each other. And you can see if you can see what I'm doing, instead of picking my finger up and moving it, yes.
Oh, you bar it?
It's like a bar, but it's not really, it's not like all the way down where you're covering all the strings. You're just kind of, right, and that will allow you to get that back and forth without too much effort. So that's the first lick in this part. Now we're going to move, by the way, that would fit a D chord. It's important, but one of the things that you should have noticed about the song is that for the most part, there's a little change up, but for the most part, the entire song has basically the same basic chord progression. D, C, G, G. Now, of course, they're doing a lot of fancy things with it. We already know what some of those are. Right? But here, this is going to follow that same chord sequence. So what we're going to do is we're going to, since the lick that we just played fit a D chord, if we move back 2 frets, that would be a whole step. And then that will allow us to play a similar, not exactly the same lick, but a similar lick, which will fit the C chord. So this one, we do the same hammer at the beginning, the 2nd finger on the 6th fret, right. But we're not going to play the 4th string right away. We're going to jump up to the 3rd string, 5th fret with our 1st finger, 5th fret, go for the dot. There we go. Use your 2nd finger. And then this part is the same as before. So we really play that 5th fret note 3 times. And then we do a pull off, similar pull off on the 4th string, 4th string. Right. Right, so if we, I really like teaching you, man. You pick this stuff up really quickly. When I show it to you, you go for it. It's great, okay? Now, so the next bit, the last bit that fits the G chord is kind of like, starts in a similar way to the fill that we played in the verse. I'm going to use a hammer rather than a slide here. Open 4th string. And the difference here is after you play that 3rd string once, you're just going to jump back to the 6th string, 3rd fret. So that whole bit of business there. Sounds like that when you put it all together. So any questions about that?